Hi everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. It's been a long week, and as I gather all my stuff around me in my avalanche format right off the screen, because you know that's how I do that each week. It's like I'm gonna clean my room, but I know I'm lying. I know it's a lie. It's no. Yeah, it would be nice if I did, but whatever. So I like to show everything that I've worked on throughout the week, and it's kind of fun to do that because, you know, I'm human just like everybody else, and I'll get into my little moods and everything, and even when I'm working on something, I'm like, I'm not making progress. You know what? One stitch counts, and sooner or later you're gonna have a thing, right? Sooner or later it's gonna happen. Evidence: my sweater, my husband's sweater that I finished in the month of August, yay! And yeah, it was 8 months. Each of them, 8 months. So that was a lot of stitches. So what? It took 8 months. Big deal. They're beautiful, right? So your projects are just as beautiful. And so what if they take a little longer than what you hoped on? That's okay. So I gathered all my stuff around me. And I'm like, what did I actually get done? I finished some stuff. Oh, I know that you guys saw the tutorial for the trip around the world blanket. Yes, I still have my ends to weave in. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Look how I finished it off. Look at that. Ends and everything, man. I'm telling you. I got some ends woven in, but not a lot of them. But that just goes up and, you know, okay, I just can't do it too well for here. This is going to go off to Camp Boggy Creek once I have all the ends woven in, because, you know, you don't send it like this. It's not quite done. It fits within the size parameters, and that is 35 to 40 inches wide and 40 to 50 inches long. That is on the upper end, which is what I was going for. So if you want to learn how to make that, by all means, I'll link the tutorial down below. Very simple, very easy to do that simple trip around the world pattern. The key to that, I'm not going to lie, is a really large crochet hook. I have had great success in the past using worsted weight yarn in a size K crochet hook. All right, perfect. It's still a very firm fabric, but it gives some flexibility and everything else like that, right? This one, it's the first time I've done it like this. I used a 9mm M crochet hook, which I was lovingly gifted by Lori, the armchair chef, when I got called out for the bulky yarn challenge, because bulky yarn is not my favorite. I didn't have supplies, right? I don't have a lot of bulky. I have some, right? I have a little bit of bulky yarn because, you know, some of the colors, I mean, beauty's beauty, pretty is pretty, but I definitely didn't have the tools. So she sent me some crochet hooks to, you know, help me along with my journey. Well, I used them. I did. I used the Susan Bates. That's my favorite brand. It really is, you know, which I'm totally happy with. And she sent me a 9mm M crochet hook, and that's what I did with this. And it's movable, it's breathable, it's, you know, it doesn't have big holes in it, right? It's solid, but yet it's not so solid that it's a weighted blanket. Unless you're going for a weighted blanket, and then go for it. So really loving that. So I do have a use for that big gigantic hook. Never thought I would, but you know what they say, never say never. So thrilled with that. A lot of ends that need to be tied in. That's okay. I finished it, moved on to something else because that's how I am. I'm gonna have a whole day for just ends. No joke. Another one, I had a lot of encouragement on this to make it bigger, make it bigger. This is a project that's been languishing for 5 months, not 5 months. It's been languishing for quite a few months. The 5th month, not 5 months. I got this for Mystery Yarn Challenge in May. May, look at this. Oh yeah, I added all that extra lace section right there. And yes, I've got a ton of ends. I get it. But what was it? Thursday was things we're making Thursdays, and it's shawls, and I showed this without that extra lace section, and I was wondering, is it too small, is it whatever? And I think it's gorgeous either way. I'm glad that I put the lace on because I'm most likely going to end up giving it to someone else. That's just how I roll. I think on me, I think I actually liked it without the lace piece. which is funny because that took time. I'm just saying that took some time to put that. And it's pretty, and when it blocks, it's going to really be a lot bigger, right? So I should have just left it, and I would have been fine with it. Either way, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. I'll have it linked down below. I believe it's called Afetos. I'm not going to pronounce it. I don't know, but got it. Oh, I'm showing you the wrong side. No wonder it looks weird. Here we go. You're like, it doesn't look, yeah, see, look at that lace. Isn't that pretty? That's so much nicer. Okay, let's try it on now. All right, now that you can actually see the lace, you can wear it however you want to, but, okay, come on, come back. Okay, oh, yeah, that's a lot prettier with that lace like that. Okay, now that it's not the back side, but how gorgeous is that? This is stunning. This is fingering weight yarn. Of course it is. 3 different fingering weight yarns. This sparkly one is a Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby has some of their hand-dyed yarns, and that's what this one is. I don't remember the colorway offhand. And the other 2, I don't believe I had ball bands for those. And yeah, that's 2 colors striped together. It's stunning, and they're both, all of them are soft. They're wonderful. Yeah, I just brought this over to the bags on the other side of the room. I have plenty of yarn left of all 3 to make multiple of these if I wanted to, or anything I want to make for that matter. So it does feel good getting something done. It really does. And it's a large project. I mean, even as a small shawl, it's still a large project. I know that's counterintuitive, but it's kind of like socks. Socks are a small project, but they're not. Right? They're small because they fit a foot, even large feet still, you know what I'm getting at, but it's a decent project, you know, there you go. So this got done. Yeah, I've got the kids had the blocking, I got some of the blocking mats and had the grandkids over, and they had them put together in the other room earlier today. It would have been a good time for me to go ahead and wet this and do a wet block on it, stretch it out and everything, but they were playing and having fun, so I left them alone. I do like to weave in my ends. I know it doesn't sound like it, you know, kind of earlier, but with this, you've got a little bit of like an I-cord edging, and that's really loose there. And what I didn't want to do is do a really good job weaving the ends, because that's what I do. But you can see how loose it is, right? And I left really long ends because I didn't want it to come unraveled while I was knitting the rest of it. But I do a really good job of weaving in the ends. And I didn't want, once I blocked it, for it to have tight sections, because I wove it in too tight because I didn't realize how much the fabric was going to bloom. So that's why I left it like that. So I guess what I'm saying is I've got a weaving in ends party, you know. Yeah, between the blanket and with this, it's going to be worth it. The blanket, I know where that's going. That's going to Camp Boggy Creek. That is the trip around the world, and I have dubbed it, and other people have definitely done that too, as Joy's trip around the world. Joy was my mom, and the trip around the world is a very traditional quilt pattern, and she did a lot of hand sewing and making quilts, and I grew up with that particular quilt. She's made, I don't know how countless that she had made, and that's kind of me paying, you know, respect to her. And the tutorial is out there. It is free. Make it to your heart's content. Feel joy in your heart while you work on that. Do anything you want to with it. Donate your product, keep your product, give it to your family, your friends, just snuggle up with it. It doesn't matter. It's yours, right? And just, you know, think of it as a hug, because that's what I do. My mom taught me the love of crafting, and that's kind of just a shout out to Mom. So 2 things done, and big things. They're big. That's awesome. So got those done. I got a chance to work on this sweater for my husband. This is the sleeve, so it's longer. Let me see. Here's this one's a full skein right there, and this is the Malabrigo Washted is the name of the yarn. So you can see right here, you know, about halfway with that sleeve. I've got to add more to this one. I used a full skein on it, and it's got to be a little bit longer. That's fine. When I get both of both sleeves to the same point. I've already got the body. I'll measure it against his other sweaters, but I think I've got it long enough. No, I don't. I've got 3 full skeins into it though. I do have that. Let's see, is it sitting right here? Yeah, it's right here. It's in his bag. It's in a bag. So yeah, here's the body and here's the sleeves. So I got a chance to work on that. And this one's funny. Our oldest son wants a hand knit sweater. So hubby's like, okay, what about this one? Because of course I'm working on 2 sweaters for my husband right now. And our son, he's a big guy. And he's like, no, too small. It's not going to be too small. I would make it to where it actually fit him. But he likes the other colors better. But I think that's just kind of funny. That's where that's going is, no, I want a sweater. You know, I've already got his socks done for him. That's my other yarn. Yeah. See, told you, it's all nice and in a bag all together. I know. Yep. All right, so there you go. And I wonder where my needles are. I mean, I've got a set of needles on this one, right? That's just sitting and waiting. And then I've got the set of needles on this one that I'm using. Yeah, I wonder where my needles go. I just clean my room. Clean your room, woman. Clean your room. Finish a project or 2 and clean your room. You'll find out you have tons of needles. I'm just gonna buy another set. It's true. Yes, it's true. I would tell you I was joking, but that would be the joke. Yeah, because I did just recently buy another set. There was a yarn store that decided they wanted to retire, and this was recent, and I'll have to show you I'll have to show you what I got. But I got that scale. Yeah, see, I got the scale that I was showing you guys. I got that at the yarn store. Yes. And I got some other yarn, and I got some more needles because, yeah, that's what I do. And working on long projects is this. I added another ball of yarn. This is Wool Ease. I just had a little ball on her for a while. So this is the Lion brand Wool Ease Fair Isle. Nice stuff. It's I think it's an 80-20. Yep, 80% acrylic, 20% wool, machine washable, made in Turkey, and it makes, you know, just that shape that I'm knitting it. Knitting and crocheting, it doesn't come up with like a Fair Isle like some of the other Fair Isles, right? It doesn't come up with a pattern like that. It always looks scribbled. I'm just going to throw that out there. So if you're a crocheter and you want to use this and you're like, oh, I won't get the cool pattern, it just looks like scribble. Okay, it's not one that stacks on itself like some. I've seen some Fair Isle where it really looks like, wow, somebody changed colors and they did a Fair Isle. This just looks like scribble, but it's pretty. So this is Red Heart brushed. And this is the Fair Isle, the Wool Ease Fair Isle. And I've got it, I think, let me see. I think I'm over my head. Okay, you can't see my head, so that doesn't help. Okay, but I think it's about 70 inches, 67, 70, somewhere in there, because it does stretch. It's getting really, really close to where hubby says, hey, I think it's good. So I did these sections here, right? So I got that part done there. I'm thrilled. I was able to sit and work on it for a while, and I did get a couple more inches. And I'm not sure how far we're gonna go. A throw, looking it up, is 60 by 72, and a twin would be by like 90 inches. And my husband's 6'1", so he wants it to be very long, very comfortable, and I'm not gonna lie, I think he's close to ready to settle. I don't want him to settle. And the only reason I say that is I was working on it and I was in the chair next to him, recliner, you know, and I had my feet up and I had the blanket across my body and was working on it. And he was just kind of looking at me like, I want that. So he was looking at me longingly. He wanted his blanket. So I think a couple more sessions like that, and he's gonna be like, "It's done. It's done. I want it. I want it now. It's done. It's good." To finish off the way that I would want to, I think it would be another inch and a half as is, but I might add some more. I mean, I've got a lot of yarn. I just broke into this one. I've got plenty of the other, and it was on sale. It's normally $9.99, and it's $9.99 on the Lion brand site. I think I got it for $3.99. yeah, they had massive sale, all the discounts, everything else, and I got this color and I got the purple, and of course I got the mustard one. Yes, I got the mustard one. Yes, I got the mustard and the taupe. And then I got all the different brushed yarns like this, and it's my first time ever using it, but I got a bunch of them that coordinated so I could make blankets or whatever I chose to make with this. So lots and lots of stuff. Totally thrilled to have gotten that much done on this. Look at that. Isn't that just stunning? I'm thrilled with it. It is a hug. It is 100% a hug. We both like wool, so you got the wool, the acrylic, the fuzzy, the soft. It's amazing. So it's growing and it's getting there, and that's a first for me. No, it's not a first for me making something, but it's a first for me doing an adult knit blanket. So if you think you're too old, you think you can't do it, you think whatever, you can do it. I don't know when I started that. It was obviously this year. So what? So what? He will enjoy it. He will snuggle up with it when he gets it. And in the meantime, I'm enjoying snuggling up with it, working on it, right? Because it's starting to get a little cooler, and that's a great time to, in the morning with my cup of coffee, work on the blanket. Try to put a row or two on it, you know, still in jammies, right? You know, just snuggled with the blanket, working on it. That's why he's kind of like looking at it longingly. So wonderful. And let's see. Oh, spoiling my husband. We know I like to spoil my husband. I mean, he's amazing, right? I spoil him. So I was working with my Arcane Fiberworks yarns. We know I like these colors. Oh my gosh, they are gorgeous. This is the Phoenix Rising, and this is charcoal. These are both fingering weight yarns. And earlier in the year, after doing 2 sweaters for him and working on a 3rd and worsted weight, now I'm not gonna lie, this one, I got that yarn thinking of me. Hello, right? I mean, that's a me color. That's a me color. And then I texted him. I'm like, hey, what do you think? And he said, sweater for me? Well, of course I said yes. So yeah, I've got the 2 sweaters on the needles for him right now. But working with my sweater, I did a fingering weight, and his I did worsted weight. I really wanted to make him a fingering weight sweater. Yeah. He got me this for my birthday, thinking of for me to make a sweater for myself. And I wanted this to make a sweater for him. I mean, we're very loving and giving. That's just how that works. So then he got the charcoal, so then I could go ahead and start it. And I got a lot done. I've got my handy dandy little scale and everything. Love those things. And I am 100 grams into this sweater, and it's 7 1/4 inches right now. I think what I was reading the pattern, and I'll have to look at his sweaters, but when I was reading the pattern, it's anywhere from 15 to 17 inches to the underarm for him. I think it's gonna be longer. I think he's a big guy. I think it's gonna be a little longer, but I'll look at that, and that is going to work. I did go ahead and cast on the 312 stitches. So it's a lot of stitches. This right here is pushing 23,000 stitches because I added a couple more rounds. Yeah, so it's pushing 23,000 stitches. And yeah, it's just how that works. It's just, you know, a labor of love. When we talk about that in our crafts, and when somebody's like, hey, will you make me that? I'll pay for it. And I hope they don't get their feelings hurt, because yeah, I don't sell a lot of my stuff. I used to. I don't anymore, because I don't want to argue with the time and the energy and everything else. Now, if I choose to, I would give you something that I wouldn't prefer to sell you, if that makes any sense. But that's just how I work with that. But yeah, I'm on that, working on his sweater. Crazy, you know, because he's 6'1", he's a big guy, and I'm making a fingering weight sweater for him. But you know what's funny? You've been around for a while. Maybe you haven't. This could be your first video. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe for everybody, right? But I like the process of both knitting and crocheting and making things and sharing and giving. And everything has different applications. And you know, what are you making it for? Why are you making it? I'm enjoying it regardless. So my sweater was 4 full skeins of fingering weight yarn. I've got lots of fingering weight yarn I could do another one with. That's not an issue. His, I'm guessing, is going to be 5 to 6. I don't really know. So what? Because I haven't made a fingering weight sweater for an adult male like that, right? So I don't know yet. But so what? If the whole project takes 5 skeins, 6 skeins of what I have, I've already got it, so it's not an issue. It doesn't matter, because you know what I'm going to do? If it was for like my sweater, what did I do when I finished my sweater? I wanted to immediately cast on a fingering weight sweater for him. I just didn't have all the yarn. So I finished my sweater in August. My birthday's in August. I finished mine, and what did I do? I cast on one for him. So whether it was 4 skeins or 6 skeins, 4 skeins or 6 skeins, it doesn't matter. As soon as I'm done with that, I'm gonna cast on something else with the remaining anyway. So why stress? 1 stitch at a time. If it takes 1 month, no, it's gonna take 1 month, are you kidding? 5 months, 6 months, 8 months like the last, that's okay. That is okay. It will be gorgeous, it will be stunning, and it will be finished just in time. That's all there is to it. That's not all I got done this week. I was in a flurry, just a frenzy flurry of working on things. And some things are quicker to work on than others. The way that I hold my knitting needles and just what's called loading up your needle. You'll squish everything right towards the end and then just have very economy motions, just kind of flicking, going like this and knitting. And there you go. I can do that with his sweater a little more. I know there's pearls in that too, than I can with that blanket. The blanket is heavier and more cumbersome. I was looking at it. It doesn't have as many stitches, but it's like, ooh, that takes a bit more. But another one I was able to do that with, I changed my needles. Which is funny because most of it was done with the wood needles, but then I had to change them to metal because whatever. Recognize this? This is Ice Yarns. This is, yeah, I've got one right here with the label. This was gifted to me for the August Mystery Yarn Challenge. I did finish things for August for the August Mystery Yarn Challenge, but this was a gift on top of it, and I wanted to use it. This is a Mohair Magic Glitz. It's 100 grams. Each skein is 100 grams, plus or minus 540 meters. That's a lot. This is on number 2 weight yarn. Now I am knitting this entire cardigan. Yeah, I'm making a cardigan on size 7s. So it is looser, it is flowy. I forgot to tell you the composition of this. It's warm because of the composition. This is 20% mohair, 20% wool, 57% premium acrylic, and 3% metallic lurex. So it does sparkle. Yes, it does. So that's what I'm working on. I wound this one because I wanted to use the opposite end. I don't normally wind my skeins of yarn, but I did this time. And I got, ooh, wait a minute, don't come back. Okay, I got quite a bit more done than last time we talked. See, here's my underarm, and look at that. So that's a good chunk that is worked on. I'm really enjoying this. It's gonna be so pretty. It is so light and airy. Like I said, I'm working on, I don't have my cable needles right there. I'm working on my 2nd skein of yarn. And we've got that much. So that tells you how airy that is. And that's another thing, is a lesson that the yarn gives a guide for knitting and crocheting, sometimes both, not always, but it gives you kind of a starting point of, hey, this is the recommended needle size. Well, I can tell you a number 2 weight yarn, the recommended needle size is not normally a size 7. But look at that fabric. It's not so see-through that if you were to make a sweater and you could see your parts and be, embarrassed, right? You'd have to wear something underneath it. Just your regular garments would be fine. But this is, like I said, it's the cardigan. But let's see, where am I at? So it goes down a little bit past the waist, so that's kind of nice. That's really pretty cool. And the composition is very warm. It really is. I'm gonna have to take it downstairs and try it on the mannequin again so then we can see what it looks like, because I haven't done that. But that's quite a few stitches. That's quite a bit of progress. Yay. It's the sleeves. It's the sleeves that get me. So we'll see how that works. I'll continue knitting along, continue progressing. My ball of yarn has shrunk immensely. I like the color of this. This is like my coffee sweater. It's my sparkly coffee sweater. It just reminds me of all the different shades of coffee, depending on how you like it, right? All the different things. That's what it does to me. Ice Yarns doesn't normally have a color number, or they have color numbers but not names, but they normally write that on the plastic bag that the yarn comes in. So I don't have that, and there's nothing on here that you would be able to say, oh yeah, that's the color right there. But if you're interested, there we go. The Magic Mohair Glitz. Really, really pretty. And speaking of glittery and glitz, I had to start another pair of socks. Of course I did. Jules, all right, I'll link Jules down below. So the last time I was, and she has her own channel, the last time that I showed the West Yorkshire Spinners, I did my purple one, my purple, and she hadn't seen this yarn before, right? And immediately went out and got some. I've done it, right? We've all, well, we might not have all done it, but we've all kind of looked at something going, whoa, that's cool. And it just hit her in just the right spot. So she got that. And then I showed this with the sparkle. This does have the sparkle. They do change their colors out yearly. Let's see, this is Nutcracker, Christmas color, right? And they do change them out yearly, so whether or not you can continue to get this or what have you, she was able to find it, which is beautiful. Wonderful sock yarn. So I don't know what I expected, okay? I did start the socks. I don't know what I expected. It's typical sock yarn, 400 meters, 437 yards, 100-gram ball. It's the 75% wool, 23% nylon, and 2% polyester, and that's that sparkle stuff, right? Just like this, when I saw it on the ball band, I just thought it was straight purple stripes. You know, just different shades of purple. I like this better the way that it works up. So you got the little stripies and kind of fading into the next color. When you're looking at the ball band or the ball itself, I didn't realize that. Love it. So with this, I know it's Fair Isle, and I know it's sparkle, and I know it's got all the colors. I don't know why, maybe because I just finished the purple one. I didn't expect it to be such even colors, which is wonderful. Look at that. So I had some red, that's not the same stuff. And then, you know, here's the sparkly sock. The nice thing about this is if I want to make two matching identical socks, I can start the next one in that blue right there, making sure there's like one round of it, continue on. I can go to the end of whatever stripe I want to, then do my heel, finish on doing the rest of the stuff, because I'm going to do contrasting heel, toes, cuff, right? Because evidently I like ends to weave in. I got a bunch of socks that need their ends to be woven in too. Okay, got to do that before Christmas. So that is one of the nice things with, I don't know, what is it, computer generated? Not actually computer generated, but the way that they're dyed, it's the same length per color. So if you start in the same spot, it will be a matching pair if you care, right? I did not care on the purple. I have a good chunk of the purple left. Had I wanted to, I could have made these exactly matching. As you can see, by just holding it up like that, they would have matched up perfectly. The kids are like, no, Mom, we don't care. And I just left it that way. I've got the rest of that yarn that I can do contrasting toe, heels, and cuff and use that yarn and make another pair of socks if I choose to, right? Or whatever it is that I want to make. But yeah, it's interesting when you see stuff on the ball band. I really thought the other was a solid purple, and I wasn't sure how this was going to work out, or, you know, stripes, solid stripes. And I like it. I think it's really pretty. The color Nutcracker, very appropriate. It reminds me of vintage Christmas. It really does. The color scheme is to me just vintage Christmas, and it is stunning. And you know, I just did my everything that I've done for the month video. Oh, I've got playlists. If you are new to the channel and you don't know what I'm talking about, I just added a new playlist. 2024, I'm putting my monthly videos in there so you can go back and see everything I made in January, everything I made in February, right? And you can do that for every month. So I was doing my August, what have I done? And I made one pair of socks, just one. And I'm looking through all my stuff and I'm looking through all my notes. I'm like, really? I only made one pair? Yes, I only made one pair. So that's why I was really trying to push starting to make them earlier in the year, because trying to get 10 pairs done with everything else that I'm working on and doing, things can get away. And my kids will not be happy. What was it last year? I told my sons that with everything that I was working on, I wasn't sure I would get all the socks done for Christmas. And he lovingly let me know there would be chaos and pandemonium if there were not Christmas socks come Christmas, as the family gets together. Okay. He used a couple other words that were colorful. It was humorous. It was really funny. But he was like, oh no, Mom, you have to make the socks. So that kind of startled me a little bit. And I mean, I can see why. I just made the one pair. There's a lot of other stuff that I've been working on, and big things, right? Socks are big too. But I mean, I've been doing a lot of larger things. That's crazy. I think it's coming to big hat season. And the reason I say that is when I do a lot of the big things, I have to take a break and make a hat. Why? Because I want to feel like I got something done. Because if I'm doing lots of things like the sweaters that could take upwards of 8 months, why do I know that? History tells me that, right? If I'm doing that and I'm not getting that gratification of, hey, I finished something, you know, that can be discouraging. I'm still working on my projects. I'm still doing stuff. It's like these blankets. They're not an instant gratification thing. That's a delayed gratification. That's teaching you how to relax and work with patience. That's what that is. Yeah, so I like to do hats or something smaller like that and add those things in to where I'm like, hey, look, I got something done. Yay. And then continue on with my larger projects. Probably because I have so many, and yeah. That's what I want to do. Oh, do I have the other thing? Do I? Is it right here? Where'd it go? I don't know. But I also have the piece of the blanket. Maybe it's still downstairs where I was filming. Yeah, that's where it's at. The other one where I did the tutorial. So I obviously started another blanket for that. It was not my intention to start another blanket, but it was my intention to make a tutorial for the Trip Around the World blanket. And for me to do that, to show you how to do it, I kind of had to start one. But yeah, that was not my intention to start another blanket. No. Nope, not at all. But it's there. So at this point, I think it's like 12 inches. Like it's a pillow, right? It's about 12-inch square. Yeah, I don't want to just wait. I cut my yarn on every one of them, right? You know, so I don't want to waste that. So I think it's going to be a blanket. Yeah. That was an unintentional starting, just saying. So I finished 2 things and I started 2 things. This is not how you reduce your pile, by the way. I was not intending to start that blanket. I 100% intended to start my husband's sweater. Yeah, I would have started it sooner had I had the charcoal colorway to start it sooner. Like as soon as I opened that, it was just talking to me and I was drooling over it and it was stunning and I wound some pretty quickly. Yeah, I was just waiting for the charcoal yarn. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not apologetic at that at all. Nothing, no. 100% I wanted to start that. The new Trip Around the World blanket, no, I was not intending to start another one. But at this point, it's an unfinished project. I kind of have to do something with it, right? And I have the yarn and it'll go to a good cause because, yeah, pretty sure I'll be donating that. I mean, why not, right? Isn't that what we do with our crafting? Have fun and give it to people because I can't house it all, you know? I mean, some things stick around for a while. Layla's been here for over a decade. I like Layla. Yeah. Layla has a body pattern, but I've never made the body. She's just a head. She's just been around. All right, everybody, she's my mascot. with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be, and I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.